Hi guys, could you get this sheet out if you haven't already? Okay, so this was in your package of things from English, and I think it was actually just this sheet because you had everything else that you needed already. Excuse me. So I'm just going to quickly go through what is required for your portfolio, which is your final assessment in English, and that is due Wednesday, June the 16th. So it is in Edsby. I have posted that a couple of times, but just so that you know, that is when this is due. Okay, so I'm encouraging you to be an activist and draw attention to these issues. So again, this is the sheet, we're just walking through it. I did have someone email me to say, hey, can I do this issue instead? And I was great with it. What I want to make sure is that it sets you up for satire. So there's some issues that are out of bounds. They just are. We talked about that. Like we would never do the Holocaust. We would never do Jesus on the cross. Like there's just a whole bunch of things. So in creating this list, anything on this list, you have a great foundation from which to start. If you think of something else, either that's happening in our current society or that bugs you, it doesn't have to be like a deep-seated, like my jump to recipe thing was not like an intense, it's just a minor frustration, and it's an easy thing to satirize in a funny way, either by doing a recipe like washing lettuce. So you could have 18 pictures of the different stages of washing and drying lettuce for me. Just to satirize, there are so many pictures we just don't need. We just need a quick how-to on this. So these are some examples. Ever-changing beauty ideals, diet cultures, ever-changing rules, consumerism, waste. So waste in terms of food waste, landfills, waste of money, things that are a waste of money, or how money is wasted, things that are a waste of time, or how as a society, again, we make up society, how we are wasting time. Food, so maybe it's genetically altered, maybe it's frankenfood, social media, the promotion of a fake life. That might be something you want to satirize or parody. Pandemic, is it real? Is it a conspiracy? This is a way you are welcome to get into this and parody something about this that you would like to. Divided Christians. So we see a lot on Facebook. Maybe there's divisions in your circle of acquaintances based on their opinions about how the government is doing things and what our response needs to be. And it seems like they often are acting in ways that are decidedly unchristian. So those are some examples of things that you could parody in any of the forms that we've looked at together and that are listed here. So you could do a meme that satirizes or parodies. You can do a rant or a speech. So Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous speech, I Have a Dream. We are familiar with that. You could take a clip from that. And then what is it? He says that line, I have a dream, a whole bunch of times as a way of paralleling and organizing his speech. Churchill has some famous speeches about blood, sweat, and tears. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them. So that sort of parallelism of if you want to do something else, those are some examples of some speeches and some rants. A song parody. So I'm just asking you to do one verse and the chorus. So you don't, if it's a 4-verse song, you don't have to do all 4 verses. I'm asking you to do one verse and a chorus. A fake news report. So like this just in. And I have an example of that on Wednesday for your independent block, an example of some Canadian comedians doing a parody, fake news, looks like real news till you realize what they're reporting. Subvertisements, we did this last Monday, where it looks like the actual advertisement, but it is poking fun at it or drawing something to our attention. So we looked at like Absolute Vodka, Absolute Destruction, or something like that. We looked at Nike, child labor, a bunch of those advertisements. So you can do that, or you can do a mind bomb, which we haven't looked at, and that's just a 10 to 20-second video geared for maybe Spotify or YouTube that shocks or questions assumptions. So it's just like, it's there. It's one of those mandatory kind of commercials before YouTube or Spotify comes on. And it's just like a crazy, like it would be an interesting way of saying, do you want to be a walking billboard, for example? Because I think that's kind of mind blowing to us who want to wear brands to be cool and to be thought to be cool, and not think of, hey, I'm giving them free advertising. I don't want to do that. Or I'm saying I agree with their practices and I don't. So a mind bomb that just draws our attention to something in a crazy way that really kind of shifts our thinking on something. Okay, so you can only use each of these mediums once. So you need to do 3 products, which means you can only do a song parody once. You can only do a meme once. You can only do a fake news report once. And this is because I want you to try experimenting with some different mediums and maybe finding one that you're awesome at that you wouldn't have tried except that I made you. Okay, so your portfolio is due in EDSB. I'm sorry, I said it was due in EDSB Monday, June 14th, because I actually don't need a hard copy of this. So you can, I think I'm gonna confuse you, I'm sorry, and just say it needs to be June 14th, because I want you to be studying for your exam in those few days after June 14th. I don't want you to be cramming, trying to get your portfolio done, okay? So I don't need a hard copy of your portfolio because that's gonna be really tricky if it's a song parody that you're singing, for example, if you want to. Bonus 5 marks for anyone who sings their song parody, like 5 real marks. That could be the difference between an 85 and a 90. A 90 is so hard to get in my classes. This could be the way you do it. So it's on you, it's up to you. But if you're sharing files like electronically, I just thought, let's do it on EDSB and I won't have a hard copy of that. Sorry for the confusion. I will make sure that that is clear on EDSB, that everything is due Monday, June 14th. So 1 week from today. Those are 3. So again, there are some here that are easier than others. There's no marks off for taking an easier option, but you can only use it once. So say, like, I would say the meme is easier than a song parody or fake news, unless your brain is just wired for song parodies, Sam. So take an easy one. It's okay. It's totally fine to do that. So each piece, the last part of your assignment sheet, each piece needs to include the inspiration. So just like I did with our I am Canadian rant versus I am a woman rant, I showed you the inspiration piece first in case you weren't familiar and you didn't know it, and then I showed you mine. So I would like you to link, if you're doing a song parody, have the link for the song, the original song, and then have your song parody, either the words side by side, but with the link so I can know the tune, because that matters how you see the words, okay? So that I see, oh yeah, you've kept the cadence of the song in the words. That's really important. If you're doing a song parody, it has to fit the tune. So if there's 8 syllables in the original, there should be 8 syllables in your lines, each of those, okay? That's just an example, but you need to fit the format. Otherwise, it's not really a great parody. So include your inspiration piece. If you're doing a subvertisement, include the original advertisement. If you're doing a song parody, give me the link, give me the original lyrics with yours beside. And this is a great time for me to just point to, I think this was the only other page in your handout the package from this past week, and it was red dye set to red wine. So this was another one. I did this. It's not like the most hilarious, but it was me trying to show you that you can use words of songs that are already out there, and you just need to do the verse and the chorus, and it has to be able to fit into the chorus and the verse of the original with the same kind of number of syllables, the same rhyme scheme-ish sort of thing. The only other thing is you need to submit each of the 3 pieces and their inspiration along with any rough work, if you think that would be helpful, to the 3 folders on Edsby. Okay, so there'll be like folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. So song parody goes in folder 1, meme goes in folder 2, fake news goes in folder 3. You can also do a jump to recipe. That is a parody. Okay, that is, and give me a recipe for something stupid that we don't actually need a recipe for, or give me a recipe for something hilarious that we would never actually see as a recipe. Questions about this? Okay, I've also put on Edsby, if you want to start studying for English, it's there. Okay, so please click on the journal. I don't know what this looks like for you in Edsby because I don't have a student Edsby account, but it concerns me when you say, oh, there wasn't anything new posted, so I didn't do anything. Kind of from the beginning, we've talked about there's going to be something in the journal for every English day. So I'm anticipating you're working Monday, seminar. This is all that we're doing together. Wednesday, it's your free period. Look at the things I've posted for you and then work on your portfolio. Thursday or Friday, you need to devote an SD block to this as you normally would. And there's work in Wednesdays to do in Edsby. So the journal for, instead of just describing this like that, why don't we just go, okay, so see in mine, I click journal on my right-hand side and I see everything from September. So I just scroll right down to the date. And I see for Wednesday, there is work outlined, just a fake news report. And then you spend the rest of the period working on your portfolio. I have in the to do, make sure you spend an SD block Thursday or Friday. So you need to be checking your journal. And this is today what we did. It's in the journal for today. This is in the journal for Wednesday. And I put this in for Thursday or Friday just because it's, again, just teaching you to be observant. So the Captain Highliner guy has had a major transformation. He's like a silver fox now. He's lost the hat. Maybe that's a Jesus symbol. Maybe that's a fish symbol. Trimmed his beard up a little bit. His features, they just pop differently. So our culture changes, whether it's Aunt Jemima or Captain Highliner, based on our current beauty ideals. So anyway, that's just a sample, but you do need to be checking your journal and be devoting an SD block and maybe some time on the weekend to wrap this up. So it is done by Monday. Okay, so it will be, if I haven't created the folders in Edsby, it will for sure be there shortly after this seminar, and you can pop those in even as you're done them. Questions? Anyone have questions? If you do have questions, email me, happy to answer them. And I will try to be watching for those in the next few days so that you can keep going if you need to ask me a question and you're kind of stalled until you get an answer for that. So I will be watching for those. Don't don't message me in a chat. Sorry, I'm not getting those for some reason. So if we had started a chat earlier in the year or even last year, I'm not getting a notification for those. So just use Edsby or my STCCS email, and I'll be sure to get back to you during school time about that thing, about those questions. Okay, I lied. That was more than 10 minutes. You're never going to trust me again. I'm so sorry. That's it for me. And so that's it for you today. I'll post this on our EDSB page. If you have questions, let me know. Look up how to study for the exam. I think your English exam is just over a week and a bit away. If they're going by the schedule the sample I saw last week, I think it might be next Wednesday. So you've got just over a week to start studying, and I've given you some ways to start that. Happy to chat with you about that more, either in a personal Zoom or next Monday will be when we're studying for our exam and doing no new material. But if you want to start before then, which I do recommend, look on EDSB, and I'll answer any questions I can on email. Okay? All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.